So it's been a little while since the transfer window here in England domestically has shut. So we're going to have a look at some championship teams who have had very, very good windows and have conducted some very good business over the course of this summer transfer window. And at the end of it, I'll be picking my championship transfer window winners, if you will, and a team who I think have had the best window over the summer. There's so many different things in terms of what actually means a good window. For team A, it might be keep on to your best players and add 2, 3 in key positions. For Team B, it might be a complete overall squad change and bring in 15 new players that are going to fill out a new squad. So it's very, very hard to judge because loads of teams have done loads of different things as you'd expect in a division. So I've kind of tried to go down the middle as evenly as possible, and I've tried to go, has the squad got better? Even if it's a whole new squad change, I've tried to look at, has the squad profile got better? And that's what I'm sort of going with. That's my one criteria that I've gone with. And I've tried to rank it in terms of how much does the squad go better. And the best teams I'm going to talk about in this video, the best teams that have done best transfer business, uh, their squads have got considerably better, in my humble opinion, than other teams in the division. So without any further delays, let's get into it. I'm going to talk about 3 teams in this video, first of all, and there's obviously a number one, but there isn't really it's not really a ranking system where there's a 2 and a 3. It's more of a, they're 2 other teams apart from a number one, or other than number one. So we'll start with one of the outsiders, an honourable mention, if you will. But I think Derby County have had an exceptional summer, and I think they deserve to be talked about. They fall into the large overhaul category. They've had a large squad churn, haven't they, over the summer? It's been starting pretty much from the start of the summer. A lot of that League One squad that helped them get out of League One has been, moved on, like Nathaniel Mendes-Lang, Sonny Bradley, Tom Barkhausen, Kane Wilson, Connor Washington, Tyrese Forner, all pivotal players under Paul Warne have moved on. So it now feels like John Eustace has got a John Eustace team instead of a mix of Paul Warne and Eustace. So I think Derby have done really well in terms of shifting, obviously, all those players out. I think they've done really well in terms of the incomings to raise the profile of the squad, and they've done it with a mix of permanent and loans. And I think they've done really well to raise the profile of the squad. They've spent a lot of money, absolutely, like Sir Patrick Agyemang, Max Johnson, Carlton Morris. Transfermarkt hasn't actually told me how much it is, but probably around the £2 million mark. And you've got Lewis Travis as well. They've spent money, and for the first time, it's felt like in John Eustace's managerial career in the Championship, Birmingham, he got some good players in that summer, but it didn't feel like the Birmingham board backed him. That's why he got sacked pretty early on in the season. At Blackburn, it felt like the Blackburn board, approved of Eustace as a manager, but didn't really back him financially. It feels like he's got both at Derby, and now he's got a squad, I think, that is ready to compete. And do not be surprised if Derby are right up there in terms of top half mix. They've started the season not great, but I think they will be very, very competitive this season. An issue last season with Derby was that attacking line. They added in January with Salverson, but there was like Connor Washington, Jerry Yates. Obviously, he's not come back, but it felt like it wasn't really powerful enough, strong enough. They've improved that significantly. They've brought in a few strikers: Rhian Brewster, Carlton Morris, Patrick Agyemang. It now feels like they have that firepower going forward that can help them in the final third. So I think Derby have done really well this summer to raise the profile of the squad, and I think they're one of the teams that have done it to a high extent. So hence why they're one of my honourable mentions. The second team I'm going to talk about in this video, my second sort of honourable mention, is Birmingham City. You probably expected them to be mentioned at some point in the video, and how can you not talk about them? I mean, they have just been probably the most eye-catching team, especially at the start of the window, across the summer, and they've been brilliant, and they've had a brilliant transfer window, and they've spent money, 14.35 million euros. Transfermarkt tells me they've recouped about 10.18 million euros in player sales, but I looked at the players they actually lost, and I went, none of them are significantly gonna improve Birmingham. They haven't lost anyone of serious quality, like Sir Christian Bielik and Alfie Mayall's obviously important parts of that League One side. I think they would have coped without them in the Championship fine anyway, and have probably been squad players for Blues. The likes of Romel Donovan has gone as well. They haven't lost anyone of serious note, and they've still brought in quite a lot of money. the recruitment has been interesting because they've brought in a mix of championship sort of ready to go players like Bright Samuel, and championship known quantities, Tommy Doyle, Jack Robinson, Patrick Roberts. Mix that with the likes of Marvin Dutch, Kyogo Furuhashi, who are more continental and have had their success elsewhere in the footballing world. I think Birmingham got a nice mix. They've obviously looked at the squad right now and gone, doesn't need a hell of a lot. I think it needs more depth, obviously. Yeah, fine. But where they're going to add, they've added in a few areas, few different areas. But they've made sure they've got a step up in what they did have from last season. And that 111-point team from last season hasn't particularly been dismantled. It's probably just been tweaked significantly. But they've added players who I think are ready to go in the Championship and are going to make an impact straight away. Chris Davies. You just have to look at the age of these players they've brought in. The average age of permanent transfers was 28 years old, and I think that included Taylor Gardner-Hickman, who's obviously gone out. So if you don't include that, I think it went up to 28.63 or something along those lines. So this is not a summer window where they've gone for a 3-year plan or a 4-year plan of getting progressively better to the Premier League. They've gone drive the momentum, get players in who are gonna make us better now, and players who are going to fit what Chris Davies wants, players with quality, and these guys have the know-how. I mean, like Patrick Roberts got promoted last season, Tommy Doyle's got promoted with Sheffield United and has previous experience. Jack Robinson, the same. They have promotion know-hows in the squad. They have quality in the squad. They have the momentum, and in my opinion, compared to last season to this season, the starting 11 in particular, I think it's gone up a few levels, and that makes Birmingham a scary proposition. So I think Birmingham have had, a great transfer window. And finally, the team who I think have won this championship transfer window, the kings, if you will, of this summer window, and I think it's really hard to look past Wrexham, isn't it? I think it really is. Obviously, big major caveat, they've spent a lot of money. I think out of the parachute teams, or outside of the parachute teams, I must say, they've probably spent the most money in the division, hands down. But can't argue with the quality they've brought in. I mean, you just cannot. And as I mentioned, I reiterate, my criteria was before and after. How much has the squad improved, and how much, that's the criteria I've judged these guys on. I just don't think Wrexham. No, I don't think anyone come close to Wrexham really. The teams that do maybe already mentioned in this video. So yeah, look, 37.93 million euros spent. That is a lot of money, but again, cannot argue with the quality they've brought in. I mentioned with Birmingham, didn't I, where the recruitment process was a mix of championship players or championship ready players, known quantities for this division, mixed with a little bit of X factor, a little bit of the unknown, Kyogo, Dutch, etc., etc. Wrexham have purely gone for the ready to go, and they've done this in their journey so far, haven't they? In League One, League Two, and the National League. I mean, League One last season they brought in like Sam Smith, Jay Rodriguez, Matty James. Good players who are ready to go and will just hit the ground running straight away and will bring loads of quality to that division. Wrexham have done the same thing in the Championship, and year on year, what we've noticed with Wrexham is as they go up, qualities of players they bring in go up in terms of experience, and they've done it again. Nathan Broadhead, Ben Sheaf, Callum Doyle, Lewis O'Brien. Loads of money's been spent on all these players, but you know exactly what you're going to get from them. 8.7 million euros is all in euros, so I'll just say it. 8.7 million on Broadhead, 7.5 on Sheaf, 5.8 million on Doyle, Lewis O'Brien 3.5, Dom Hine was 3.1 million, 2.5 million for Liberto Cacace, Connor Cody for 2.3 million, Kiefer Moore for 2.3 million, George Thomason for 1.4 million, and then Ryan Hardy and Danny Ward who were brought in as well. So apart from the odd exception, Thomason's never played in the Championship before, neither has Cacace, and he's not played in England before. I don't think Issa Cabore's played in the Championship before, but he has played in the Premier League with Luton. Thomason obviously has played in League One with Bolton, so he's played loads of games, so that's not a sort of major change for him. And Cacace is the only one who's not playing in England. So these guys are not pretty much a large proportion of these players are not players who are going to take time to bed in. They're good ages who are going to just go into the team and are going to make them better. And Wrexham could easily fill the starting 11 full of new players and players who, in my opinion, have improved the squad massively. And these players, I think, are going to make Wrexham so competitive this season, and in my opinion, has resulted in Wrexham having the best transfer window in the Championship. So Wrexham are my transfer window winners, and I've obviously given honourable mentions, if you will, to Birmingham and Derby. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Give me your transfer window winners, and yeah, give me a top 3 if you want to do a ranking system or anything like that. Yeah, your opinions on this video I think are incredibly important. So let me your thoughts in the comment section down below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, all of that good stuff. And yeah, I will catch you all later. Cheers.